Well, here we are back again at my channel, Brandy Stamps. I'm so excited to share with you today another crafty video. This is a episode of the Great American Stampin Show. We are now on season 3, episode 13, lucky 13, my friends. We're going to be featuring the 13th layout from the Stampin Up catalog. And this episode is going to be so much fun. I was kind of freaked out when I first saw the layout, but now I'm super excited about it. I did a technique that was completely new to me, never ever tried it before. Can't wait to show you guys. And I've pretty much used more glimmer than should probably legally be allowed, so you'll have to let me know if I've gone too far. Congrats to Jody, our winner from last time. And I hope you, as my watchers today, will watch my video and watch all 3 of my competitors, Jody, Julie, and Shannon. Their links are right in my description. And just click like on whichever one you like the most. We support whoever you choose, although obviously I hope it'll be me. Now, I wanted to invite you to join my email list as well. Right now we have the 12 weeks of Christmas going on. You can get free card templates in your inbox through your email every single week from the Great American Stampin Show girls. You just need to be on one of our email lists. To join mine, just look at the link right there in my description and I will start sending you some fun stampy goodness. All right, let's get going. In season 3 of the Great American Stampin Show, we have been looking at page 22 in our annual catalog. And here are the layouts that we've been featuring. And I did not realize how inspired I would be by these layouts. This has truly been a wonderful creative journey doing each of these templates. I encourage each of you to try these templates. Stamp along with us each week as you see us feature a new one. Share with me. I'd love to see what you're creating. Right in my description, there's a link to join my Brandy Stamps with Friends Facebook group. That would be a great place to share your card each week in the comments. So our card for this time is a layout that looks just like this. So let's get a closer look. And here it is. Okay, so I don't know. I was just like, oh, nothing came to mind immediately. So it was just a little bit of like a mind stop. So that's how I felt when I very first saw this template. But I came up with something. You're going to have to tell me if it was good. We're going to start with this little bit right here. So I was looking at that, thinking about some kind of a little tag or a piece or a greeting or an image. And I went for a die. This is from the Stylish Shapes dies. And it's just this basic white kind of a banner. I've only used it this way prior to this, but today I'm going to use it this way and make it kind of like a hang down banner, something like that. So I'm going to start by adding some decorations to it. Let's get this decorated up. I've got my cherry cobbler ink pad and one of the stamps from a set that's called Choose Happy. It's got a ton of little images. Here's what it looks like. So you get kind of all different sort of seasonal images and lots of little words. And so I have grabbed the one that just says hello. I've already cut a couple of dies here. These are from the Snowy Wonder dies. It's like a little set with a penguin and a snowman and stuff. And these are coordinated to go with some of the stamps in the set, but I haven't stamped on them. So I'm just going to grab my coordinating markers here. I've got an old olive holly leaf. So this is my old olive marker. I'm just going to kind of freehand a couple of lines. Kind of a little holly leaf detail on there. And then this one is Cherry Cobbler. So I'm just going to come in and I'm giving them like little half circle swoops just to give it the shiny edge of a berry kind of a look. And now let's grab some mini glue dots. I'm going to do my famous glue dot cannoli. That's when I take the little flat glue dot and roll it up. So let's just get a hold of it with my fingertip. Roll, roll, roll. I'm rolling it up. You know, it might be rolled like a sleeping bag, but sleeping bags aren't delicious. Cannoli are delicious. One time I went to Boston. Oh my word, there was this amazing bakery. I'll never forget the cannoli I had there. Okay, so these are just mini glue dot cannoli, and I'm putting one on the back of each of my leaf. And I like to do this whenever I'm gluing something that's really super skinny. But in this case, this is fairly skinny, but I also want it to lift a little. So I'm going to get a little extra height from those rolled mini glue dots than I could have got from regular flat mini glue dots. So let's just pick up a flat one here with these little holly berries. Okay, cutie cute. Now I'll grab my #1 favorite ribbon embellishment. This is just linen thread, you guys. It's got a roll of 15 yards for $5, or I think it's 5, might be a little more now, inflation and whatnot. But I'm pulling off a little more than the width of my grid paper. So it's probably like 22, 23 inches. And I'll just run my fingernail across it to calm it down. It's a little bit of a curly cue because it's been wrapped around that spool. But by running my nail across, I flattened it out. And now this is about enough to do half of a bow. So I'm going to hold it right here. I want to tie my bow kind of right above the berries. And I'll just wrap this around. There's probably enough to wrap it about 5 times. So I'll get some swooping back and forth. And then once I've got both ends, I'll just make a regular shoelace knot and a double knot. This way it'll hold while I'm trying to do my bow. So I've now got a knot that's gonna stay. To get the best bow, you want to grab the one that's pointing downward. So let's do that one and make a loop with it. The other one is going to wrap behind. You can't wrap in front or the bow will turn sideways. As long as you wrap behind and you use the lower one for the loop, you can usually get a pretty good right side up bow. So now before I tighten this, I'm just gonna kind of play with how big those loops are. Okay, something like that, and we will trim this one to match a little better. Okay, so here is my little tag. It's basically that part that's gonna go right here. So now I need to deal with this crazy card base with all these, I don't know, does that look like torn or some kind of crazy edges to you? I'm going to tear mine, so you'll have to tell me if you think that was the right approach. I'm using a 11 by 4 1/4 piece of Crumb Cake to make my card base. And I'll just reach for my bone folder, give it a nice little sharp crease. And now it's time for me to tell you about a technique that I saw for the first time this week. I was out to lunch with my friend Melody, and she was talking to me about Glimmer Paper and said that she had embossed on it. She showed me some pictures of how she embossed right on the Glimmer Paper, and I have never tried that. I love embossing, I love Glimmer Paper, and now, thanks to Melody, 2 of my favorite things are coming together. So I'm going to use my Versamark ink pad, and I've got this giant Christmas, it's big, pretty font. This is from the Peaceful Season stamp set. I've made sure that my Versamark pad is really nice and inky. I'm loading it really well with ink too, so I want as much Versamark as possible on here. And then I'm going to come over here. I want to tear the edge off as well, so I'll scoot Christmas up just a little. And I'm going to give it good pressure because I want it to go right down in the spaces between the glitter. Now this Glimmer Paper is different. I can't even really see at all where I have stamped. So let's just rest it in my tray here and give it some white powder. And let's see what we've got. Okay. Now there's some powder sticking here in the little crevices of my glimmer. So I'm just gonna flick several times until you've got all the extra off. And now this is ready to heat. All right, so just get it into the light so you can see. Basically, we want to note the difference between dry, non-shiny powder granules and melted, shiny, white embossing powder. So we'll heat this up and we'll just watch carefully. I'm holding it in the light so I can see. I don't want to overheat it because I don't want to scorch it or hurt the glitter. Okay, looking beautiful. So here is our template. Once again, I should just keep it right here in the frame for us. This can be one of my layers, but what should I use for the other 2 layers? Well, you guys, I just went for it. I'm doing glimmer, glimmer, and more glimmer paper. This is all from a set that is called Festive Glimmer Paper, and you can find it in my online store. Every product I'm using here is linked down below, or just look in our Stampin' Up! Holiday Mini Catalog. You'll find this glimmer paper. You get 2 12 by 12 sheets of each color. So you can really go to town using this and doing lots of fun projects. So I'm just going to freehand tear each one of these now. I mean, try not to think too hard about it. When I do this one, of course, I don't want to tear off any of my cute little word. I want to allow it to go back and forth a little, so I'm kind of guiding it. And a little off this one. Okay, so let's start to assemble our card. The first thing I'm going to do is use Seal Plus right at the top of the darkest green. I think this is Garden Green glimmer paper, and I'm going to do a few rows of it just because I love using up my adhesive. And so let's go right up by the fold and center it. I have cut these pieces of glimmer paper 4 inches wide. All of the dimensions of everything I've done are right there in my description. So if you ever want to stamp along, copy what I've done, it's really easy. Now I maybe should have talked a little bit more about this glimmer paper, because if you're not familiar, it's glitter coated, but it also has a seal on the outside. So the glimmer, it's not loose. The glitter isn't loose. I'm touching this, I'm pressing it down, I can handle this and mail it to someone, and it doesn't like leave a trail of glitter behind, which I think is usually the complaint behind glitter paper. So this one, worry not, it doesn't do that. So this is my lighter green shade. I think it's Granny Apple Green. And I want it to be kind of along the edge. I need to tuck behind here a little. I want some of the brown to show. I used the linen thread and the Crumb Cake colored paper because they are such good kind of natural neutrals, and that kind of helps settle the, offset the glimmer. So I've got so much glimmer happening, these neutrals help offset that. Now that I've got these 2 positioned right where I need them, I can just slip the red glitter underneath and just choose the perfect, gorgeous spacing that I want. One more trick, this layer is kind of like popping up a little more than I wanted to. So I like to use my paper piercer. This is part of my take your pick tool. Take your pick tool. It's got different ends on it. Anyway, this is a handy dandy little thing. And I'm using the piercing end. So it's got this little poker on it, and I'm just going to pick up a mini glue dot. And now I can use the piercer to get back under the space. So I actually use this trick a lot. If there is a ribbon that's trying to pop up, or a die cut that just needs the edge glued down, or whatever, this is a great way. You don't have to try to get adhesive on it before. You can add it after you've already got it in the perfect placement, and just make it so it stays in the perfect placement. So there we go. And now to add this little greeting, I was going to cut it off, so it would just end by the edge, but I ended up trying something else where I just basically positioned it up top here and just folded it over the edge. Okay, so that's about how it's gonna sit. Let's go ahead and do some kind of a crazy adhesive combo right here. So I'm using a dimensional at the bottom. Let's actually do 2. This is the part that's going to glue directly to the glimmer paper, and that can be a little bit fussy. Plus I want it to stand out a little, so dimensionals at the bottom. Now up here right by the fold, I'm going to place a couple of mini glue dots there. These guys almost turn themselves into cannolis. Okay, so we've got those 3. And then this is the part that's going to go onto the back of the card. And it ends up looking pretty cute, you guys. I think I might even like sign it right there or something. I'll show you. Okay, so all 3 adhesives, how crazy is that? But, you know, each thing has its own need. So every adhesive where it's needed and when it's needed. Now I'll just fold it right over, press down. Everything's sticking the way we want it. And right here is where I would write like hand stamped by Brandy or a little love Brandy or something like that. I thought that was really cute how that ended up. And here is our final card. What I don't know is if it's too much. I've been asking my friends, is there a thing? Is it too much glimmer? I don't know. Tell me in the comments. I must know. It's a good day every time I can stamp with you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you loved the card today. Tell me right now, too much glimmer? Is it too much glimmer paper, or is that not a thing? It is a question that is on my mind. I hope to catch you guys again soon, so make sure you're subscribed, go vote for your favorite video, and I'll see you next time.